Grab your cup. This is an important question. It's been an important question in my life. I think it would make a difference if you could really look at this. So how are you with change? How do you embrace change? How do you move through change? Because the truth is, everything on this earth, in nature, about our bodies, in our lives, relationships, jobs, everything involves change. Life is about changing. It actually is about changing and evolving. That's the whole point of life. And what I had to deal with in my own life and what I see in clients is that change can be very difficult. So that's a big reason. It's not the only reason, but it's a big reason why people feel stuck, because they don't embrace change. They feel like the patterns that they have and what they already know is what they want to cling to. So they're sort of like here clinging. Meanwhile, everything in life and around them and the earth and nature is constantly changing. Even, for instance, yesterday, I live in New Jersey, Northeast United States, and we had an earthquake. What is an earthquake? It's a shifting, I think, it's a shifting of the plates in the earth, right? There's a change underground in the center of the earth. Doesn't usually happen in New Jersey, but it did. It did twice yesterday, or I guess the second one is an aftershock, I don't know. But it did back in 2017 as well, or I think that's when it was. So doesn't happen a lot, but there was change. When we have patterns that serve us, that we feel comfortable in, and then we don't see how that pattern can take us through change, we get very uncomfortable. And a lot of people don't like the uncertainty of change. But if you can shift that, because that has an element of fear. I don't know what it's going to be like if this changes. There's an element of fear there. But the truth is, everything is always changing. So our patterns set us up to feel comfortable. Like me having a cup of coffee. I could be on here with you every single morning because I have a cup of coffee every single morning, unless for some reason I can't. So I only come on 3 or 4 times a week, but every morning, even when I'm not talking to you, I'm having a cup of coffee. That's my pattern. So think about all of the patterns in your life. Even the ways that you think are in a pattern. Did you know that, I don't know, you'd have to look it up, something like 70 or 80,000 thoughts go through our mind every single day. Let's say 70. Let's err on the side of less. 70,000 thoughts a day. Now, here's what is amazing about that. 95% of those thoughts are the exact same thoughts we had the day before, and the day before that, and the day before that. We get in patterns of thinking. So just like getting up and making my coffee, you wake up and you're automatically already thinking in the same patterns that you do every day. And then you're making choices based on those thoughts and the patterns that have served you in the past, right? But now, life is showing up with change. There might be a relationship that ends for whatever reason. Relationships with our parents as people age. Relationships with ourselves, how our body changes as we age. But if you have a pattern of how you see yourself, and that pattern doesn't change as you are changing, or as the relationship is changing, or as life is changing, you're going to feel very stuck and afraid and uncertain. So even with the clients, like right in the past week, the conversations that I've had, one client has a mother with dementia. That is a change in how she knows her mother and their relationship, how she needs to take care of her mother, and all that brings. Another client is going through a separation. That is a huge change. People are always changing. So look at your patterns And something that's really key and important is starting to interrupt your patterns. So do a pattern interruption in small ways. That might be, like for me, getting up and taking a shower first and then having my coffee. That's not my pattern right now. I usually get up and it's like within the first 20 minutes of when I'm out of bed, I'm having a cup of coffee. So I could change my pattern that way. Why? Actually, just in small ways to see that I can, and I'm not gonna die from it. Like, I can be okay if I have to do it in a different way. I can be fine if the plates of the earth shift and I feel an earthquake. I can make it through that. When you do pattern interruptions, you start to know yourself that you can make it through change. So the pattern interruptions of your thoughts, a lot of the work that we do, particularly in my foundational program, Return to You, is looking at the patterns of thoughts that got started that you've been participating in for decades, the patterns of thoughts about how you see yourself. So if you have low self-esteem, poor confidence, if you see yourself as needing to always serve other people, it's not the truth, it's a pattern that got created. So we need to break up the patterns of your thoughts and how you see yourself. Sometimes it's obvious, sometimes it's really hidden in your subconscious and things that you made a decision of. There's patterns in how and why you get triggered. When someone triggers you, like going into a social situation can be triggering, or the holidays when you see certain members of your family, it's not because of them, it's because of patterns in you about how you experience things that really causes the trigger, which is why when you are willing to look at your patterns and uncover that, you get the relief of triggers. You're no longer feeling the effects of that, the upset, the anger, the annoyance, whatever it is. When you look at the patterns in how you communicate, has it worked? Has it not worked? Maybe it hasn't, but you're stuck in a pattern of going down the hall and going by yourself, picking up your blocks and going to play by yourself, right? That got started when we were little, and now as grown-ups, we shut down and we don't talk to each other. It's a pattern. So being willing to change your patterns, look at how you think, how you feel, and then being willing to do some pattern interruption, starting small, and see that you can actually handle it. Because the truth is, not only can you handle it, you're designed to handle it. Your body is made to go through change. Your life is made for change. The whole point is enabling us to grow through all the changes that come our way, even the scary, sad ones. So be ready and willing, and that's how you start to see yourself as certain, and that's how the fear goes away. Pattern interrupt, embracing and acknowledging change. Have a good day.